Peoples, what is going on? I am Finesse, and this is the 2024 Indian Motorcycle Roadmaster Elite. All right, so like I said, this is the 2024 Indian Motorcycle Roadmaster Elite. What we're going to be doing today, I'm going to be doing a full out review and ride of this motorcycle just to show you guys what you're getting for your $42,000. All right. So first off, this color scheme for 2024 is red candy over black candy. And as you can see here on the bike, there's a few different hues or tones of that red. So back in 1904, Indian Motorcycle came out with the Camelback, and that motorcycle featured the classic red that we see now in today's Indian Motorcycle. And to pay homage to that, Indian Motorcycle included that color on this motorcycle, and I'm telling you guys, it looks absolutely gorgeous. The camera, as always, is not doing it justice. So if you're in Daytona, or you're coming through Daytona in the coming weeks, or in the coming week rather, you definitely got to stop by and look at this motorcycle. I mean, this is just a stunning bike when you see it. Now, the images that I saw online when they did the review, the release, the video, they're doing a lot of motion and action and things, just to make the video appealing. So you don't really get a good look at the bike. You don't get a chance to stare it down. But as I'm looking at this bike, I'm looking at this motorcycle, I mean, this thing is just beautiful. They didn't miss any marks on this bike. Here we are with the 2024 Indian Motorcycle Roadmaster Elite. Starting right up front, you've got this beautiful front fender covered in the candy red, and it goes down, it gives you that swooping design for the wheel. Beautiful, beautiful bike. You also have the classically styled headdress. This headdress does not light up, despite it being the Elite. I wish that would be something that they would include. However, like I said, it is the classic style to go along with the classic styling of the bike, so nicely done there. Here you have dual disc front brakes up front with the Indian Motorcycle branded logo on there. These are, I want to say they're 4-piston calipers in the front and then 2-piston calipers in the rear. For the Elites get special wheels, and these are black with the machine finish. This here is like it's been beveled inside, and then that wraps around to the outside of the rim. So it looks really good. I'm imagining it's going to look really good when it's spinning. So really looking forward to that. When you get here to the headlight, it's going to be an adaptive headlight from Indian Motorcycle. This outer ring does light up, so you get a little LED lighting there. And then of course, as you're turning and doing things, the light reacts to how you are operating the motorcycle. All right, now looking at our fixed fairing for the Roadmaster, you get these bullet style turn signals. They are LED. You're getting all your logos and things on the paint. They're all hand painted, these motorcycles, but these logos are in the paint. There's no decals on here. Every Indian Motorcycle logo that you see is painted on the bike. And speaking about the paint, this is the red candy over black candy. These bikes are hand painted. Indian Motorcycle outsources this to a company, and it takes about 24 hours for them to do one of these motorcycles, and they are beautifully done. Just the work and the craftsmanship that goes into making all these lines flow and match and everything else is just really, really nice. All right, so moving on here to the lowers. You got this black candy, you got some red candy, and then you got another tone of the red candy. So really, really nice, man. It's almost like a sunset or a sunrise. And whenever I look at the bike, that's what I imagine. It's like a sunset or a sunrise. Just beautiful. All right. Of course, you've got some openings here. That's going to allow for the air to come in or not come in, depending on what you're doing. Or in a day like we had today, where it was raining a little bit this morning, if you're riding during the rain, you can close those up and protect yourself. On the inside here, you've got some more guards, and this is just to protect you from all the dirt and debris that's kicking up on the road. But it has a nice look to it, a nice swooping design. Like if you look at the front fender and how it just rolls around, beautiful design, man. Up here on the neck, you've got the Indian Motorcycle logo. You're also going to find your VIN number up there. Moving around to this front console, like I said, you do have this automatic windshield. Have this automatic windshield, so you operate that right here. You just tap it twice, and it goes up. You tap it twice, and it goes back down. And the usefulness of this windshield is absolutely amazing, because there's days when you want some wind, there's days when you don't want some wind, and you can control it all from there. Albeit you don't want to be at speed when you're doing this, because you will damage the mechanism. You want to be, I want to say the manual says no faster than like 20 miles an hour or something like that. But at any rate, very convenient. All right, now when we're looking at the inside of the fairing, this is the Elite, so there's every inch of this has been touched. So you have the black candy continuing here on the top. So up here you do have a little bit of storage. You open this up, this is where you're going to find your USB connections for your phones or media devices. And then there's a nice lined pocket in there to hold all your devices quite well. And if you look down there, it says there's a cargo limit of 1 pound. So, you know, don't put more than 1 pound in there. Pretty cool. All right, nice little locking mechanism there. Looking at the audio package, once I get back to the saddlebags, I'll talk more about the audio package. But on these bezels, you still have that black candy coming around on there. So they make these look good. They make these look good. All right. So you have your teardrop Indian Motorcycle mirrors, and then you get your black clutch and brake levers. All right. You also are going to have heated grips up here, and you can control the heated grips either on the tank console or on the 7-inch ride command. You have your horn, you have your high beam, flash to pass, you have your turn signal controls, music control, page controls once you get into the system. Then you have power, you have stop run, you have your cruise control, and then like I showed you just a minute ago, your windshield controls are right here. So this right here is a placeholder for a button for driving lights. All right. This being the Elite, I would have liked to seen the driving lights on this already. However, it is an option. So, you know, if you're not into that look, then, you know, you're not kind of forced into it. And then if you like the look, then, you know, you can do it. So, okay. You've got your physical buttons here. I like these buttons, you know, because it gives you something large, and when you're wearing gloves, it's easy to manipulate these buttons. Very accessible right there in front of you. Over here, you've got your charging port for your battery tender. And I've also seen a new item recently that, well, I guess it's new to me, but there's a port that you can plug in here that converts this to a USB. So I can see that being very beneficial, especially for those people that don't hide their phones away. If you have it here mounted on the bars, then you can plug it in right here and just have like a little short wire, not those long wires going everywhere trying to get back inside the console and having the door open. This just makes everything much more convenient. All right, now when we're looking at the tank, you're going to see that there's a cap over here. This is just a cap for symmetry. This is your actual fuel cap. You push down, twist that off, comes out. You can put the fuel in. Like I said just a minute ago, you have your heated grip controls, right? You have your up or your high, low, and then this turns it off or turns it on. Now, if you're traveling and it's cold and you've got your grips on and you turn your bike off, when you turn your bike on, the grips are still going to be on. So it has memory for the grips. You know, it's a little thing, but it's important, especially when you're out somewhere and it's cold. And then of course you've got your lock controls, so your lock and unlock for your saddlebags. And look at this tank console, Indian Motorcycle Elite right here. You got number 6 of 350. So 200 of these motorcycles are going to be sold stateside. 150 go overseas, which truly makes Indian Motorcycle a global brand. And you know, that's just something here to remind you just how special these are. And the time that we've been here in Daytona, if somebody has an Elite, especially one of the 24s, which was only one person, they say, oh, I'm number 18, I have the number 18 Challenger, you know, whatever. So these numbers, this was a fantastic thing what Indian Motorcycle did, numbering these bikes. I think that was well needed, and you know, they hooked it up, man. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, now, this being Daytona, of course, you're going to have some information on the console here. This will not be on your bike if you buy it. You know, this is just something to help people out when they're here at the demos. All right, now, moving down from the console, you have this nice leather treatment here with the Indian Motorcycle logo stamped into it. And then moving around here on the side of the gas tank, you got more of this black candy, red candy, and then you have the Indian Motorcycle logo as like a cutout going through the red candy. So really interesting detail, very nicely done. You have some more Elite badging here, along with this this color here. I don't believe that is the black candy, but it is different than what you traditionally get on the Roadmasters or the Chieftains. In addition to here, so the engine has its own treatment that it gets with a little bit of this gold. Nicely done. Of course, you're going to get a foot pedal because it's a premium model. On this model, you also get upgraded floorboards, and this does have isolation on it, so you're not going to have to worry about any kind of vibration or anything like that. Of course, you're getting some of the Dark Horse treatment with all the black finishes. Just a beautiful, beautiful looking bike. And then your passenger pegs also match the driver pegs. So, you know, you get the matching set. Then coming along to the, well, actually here, let's go to the seat. So when you're looking at this seat, you are getting a heated and cooled seat, which is very interesting. So the way it was explained to me is that the heated seat has some type of electrode or something that generates the heat. And then in order to generate the cold, it reverses the polarity of the electric, whatever wizardry, I don't even know. But supposedly it works really good. I've never done it, so this will be my first time being on a cooled seat, and I'm definitely going to try it out. So it should be very, very interesting. All right, this being Elite, you are getting a stitched Indian Motorcycle logo in the back of the seat, and that treatment goes all the way back up here to the tour pack. You get it stitched as well. Nice leather, feels good. And then you get this red stitching. Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, just good looking. It just looks good. All right, yeah, moving on back to the saddlebags. Of course, you're going to have saddlebag speakers here. And you open it up, you have a wealth of space. Backside of the speaker, nice grill, bezel, all of that is in black candy. You're moving around here to the saddlebag. It kind of dips below the line of the exhaust and then comes back up. And then, of course, you have your Elite right there, along with the hinge there. Nice. So like I said in the previous video, before this motorcycle came out, you could not get these armrests in black. Indian Motorcycle only made them in chrome. If you wanted them in black, you'd have to get them powder coated, sent off, all that jazz. But now you get these and they come on this bike with the black, and you can also now order them on Indian Motorcycle in black. So very nicely done. However, this right here, this should be black. This has got to go. All right, we got to get rid of that. I'm sure, you know, you can replace it if you're into the details like I am, but I would have liked to have seen that come with the black ones, because if you look up here, these here are black. All right. Now, moving around here to the back side, of course, you're going to have your tour pack with more of that black candy, red candy treatment. And this is your typical rear end for the Elites. So you're getting your saddlebag lights, you're getting more of the black treatment with the rack and the guard. And then we're we're coming around here on the side, and this is where you're going to see the controls for the heated and cooled seat. There you do your plus or minus. This here is a venting screen for it to suck in air. So maybe I was incorrect, maybe I was told wrong. Or maybe it's just to cool the system. You know, I don't know. Some kind of airflow. I'll look more into it. If I find some different information, I'll definitely let you guys know. And of course here you got the Thunderstroke 116. I want to say it pushes out like 97 horsepower, like 126 foot-pounds of torque. On the back side of the lowers, you have a compartment here for storage. Looking at your toe shifter, you got a traditional style toe shifter, and then of course you've got connections for the heel shifter. All right, I'm geared up and we're gonna get on this 2024 Indian motorcycle Roadmaster Elite. All right, getting on the bike. It does feel a little tall in the seat. I want to say that this the seat height is supposed to be 26 and a half inches. However, the preload could be adjusted to where, you know, it's going to feel a little bit taller, simply because, you know, people are going to be on the back, things of that nature. All right, so let's get her powered on. All right, you get that standard 116 rumble as soon as you turn the bike on. We'll give it a few minutes here and let it warm up. So for the Roadmaster, and in comparison to the other bikes in the lineup, so the Pursuits, the Challengers, you know, the Super Chiefs, the Chiefs. This bike, I guess it kind of feels like how the Sport Chief feels, right? Whereas you're kind of sitting on top of the bike or above the bike. So, you know, if you're not used to that kind of feeling, then that's what it's going to be. If you are on a Challenger or a Pursuit and you come to this, it's going to be different, because those bikes, you sit into the bike more. You know, you have more, like the fuel tank comes up above your, you know, comes up to your chest, and, you know, it's just going to give you a different feeling. All right, before we even get started, I'm going to look for these seat controls. All right, here we go. So when you're adjusting these seat controls, not only do they light up, but they also give you like a little vibration feedback whenever you're selecting what you're doing. And in addition to that, you're going to get a view of that on the screen. So I'm going to put it on cold, and immediately as I put it on cold, I mean, I don't know if it's subconscious or what, but it felt like I felt a little breezy. Oh man! All right. All right, the brake feels really good. And of course, this suspension is not set up for me. Like I said, it feels a little bit tall, but I'm sure we're gonna catch a few bumps here and there, and everything's gonna be good. And like I said, you really get that feeling of sitting on top of the bike. It's not something to where, you know, you're down low. All right. All right, the shifts are nice. We're going along here. Now the shifter pedal is a bit high for my liking. I would like it a little bit lower, but of course that is adjustable. And now that we're rolling, the cooled seat, I can really feel. I can feel the difference between with it off or not having it ever, and to now having it. I do feel a little bit of cool. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's like super duper cold, because it isn't, at least not at this moment, and I'm just getting started. But you can definitely feel it. If this was a hot summer day, I'm sure it would be a welcomed relief. All right, now looking at my position here, I got my foot on the floorboard, and I've got a pretty good 90-degree bend. My hands are down low because these are the stock bars, but it's not uncomfortable. The ride is good. I mean, this is a relatively smooth road, but the bike itself, super nimble. You can maneuver this bike and do what it is that you need to do. So I've heard people have issue or complaints or concerns as far as, you know, the placement of the controls. And if you're swapping between bikes, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be something to get used to. But none of these controls, turn signals, the music, the horn, any of those things, I can actuate the clutch. I can, you know, use the turn signals, do all of these things. I don't have any issues with that. All right. So in addition to the rider having the heated and cooled seat, you're also going to have the passenger with heated and cooled seats. All right. And because of my height and, you know, the position of the windshield, I'm getting a little bit of buffeting on my helmet. So now that we've slowed down a little bit, I'm going to raise the windshield up. And when you're raising the windshield up, I think ideally you're not going to want to be looking through the windshield, right? The windshield should be just below your eyesight. It should be just below your eyesight to where you're looking out over the top of it. That is going to be the best position to get the wind to flow over the helmet, right? So now I'm not getting any buffeting, the helmet's not shaking. This is way more comfortable. And what it appears to be, at least with this cooled seat, it seems to be, you know, as you're going, the more efficient the cooling works, right? And I noticed that too in the heat as well. The heated seat, or the heated function on the Pursuit. You know, when the bike is going and you're generating energy, you know, it's putting that energy into the seat, so it'll warm up a little quicker and warm up a little quicker and be a little bit hotter than what it would be if you were sitting still. Let's switch lanes here.
yeah, smooth transition. Nice feeling bike. It's balanced pretty well. You know, I don't have any issues modulating the clutch. The clutch feel is really good. You know, it's just a beautiful bike. It's definitely a head turner. As I was recording this video, I mean, people were approaching me talking about the bike and, you know, how the bike looks and everything. And I think that's one of the larger. Actually, I got to turn this cooled seat off because it's getting it's getting too cold. So in summary, the cooled seat works. It works very well. I mean, I kind of wish it was a hotter day. We're in the 70s right now, so this isn't necessarily the best test of it. But I can tell you right now, I mean, even now that I've turned it off, my butt is still cool, or it feels like it's cooling. And throttle is nice and responsive. All right, so if you are a person like me, 5'9", I think this seat setup will do you well on this motorcycle. Also, if you are a shorter person in the 5'2" range, I think this is going to be well too. Mostly because everything is closer to you. All right, the controls are closer. The seating position, you're closer to the bars. Now, in my case, I would change the bars, you know, for something a little bit more comfortable. But you know, most, you know, 99% of riders are going to do that anyways. So, and then we just went over those train tracks there. No problem. Not a problem at all. But yeah, so if you're in the 5'2" range and you want to get something, a cruiser, and maybe the Challenger or the Pursuit is just a little bit large or a little bit intimidating for you, I think this is a great alternative option. And not only that, you have opportunities to have a reduced reach seat. You'll have extended reach seats. You know, you have plenty of options for you when it comes to this motorcycle. All right, and this power plant is plenty enough to keep this motorcycle rolling. Look at that. Oh, that turn in felt good. Oh yeah, that turn in felt good. And there's not a lot of high frequency vibration. The 116, I mean, it is putting out some vibration, but it's you know, it's not like that jarring stuff. And then once you get to cruising speed, you know, it kind of smooths out a bit. All right. Well, we got the signal for a U-turn. They're gonna make the U-turn. What are they gonna do? Okay. I like it. Good on you. So this is a bit of a rougher road here. Now the rear suspension. So we're getting about I want to say it was like 4.5 inches of travel. And in that 4.5 inches of travel, the rear end, it felt pretty good. Now, going over those bumps, the front end did seem a little bit stiff, and I don't know if that's. I mean, I'm sure that's what it is for the Roadmasters. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, I don't think that I've ever done a Roadmaster review on the channel. So not only is this the first Roadmaster review on the channel, but it's on the Roadmaster Elite. I mean, how great is that? But like I said, the front end did feel a little bit stiff, stiffer than what I'm used to. And this bike is, I think this bike is like 906 pounds, whereas my Pursuit, I think, is like 925, something like that. So that could have something to do with it. But like I said, the rear end took those bumps no problem. And if you're in the ecosystem of Indian motorcycle, all of the controls are going to be familiar. I mean, these are the controls. The best thing about these controls is that they're going to be backlit. So in evening and night times, you're going to be able to see these buttons if you're not used to them. Or maybe if it's a button you don't often use, like the horn, you know, depending on where you're living. You know, that could be a thing. All right, but they are backlit, really nicely done too. They're not like super bright, they're just bright enough. And like I said, the ride command system itself, it functions properly. Any of the issues that I've heard of, or any of the issues that I've had myself, happen to be, you know, adding phones or adding other things outside of the ride command system. Now, and again, full disclosure, I have not used the ride command system navigation because I prefer Waze. All right, so yeah, we're cruising along. We're in 4th gear here. We're doing about 35 miles an hour. Not a lot of vibration. Look, the rear end is sprung very nicely. This is also a monoshock. But it has air adjust preload. So when you buy the bike, you're going to get one of those little pumps. It almost looks like a little football pump with a gauge on it. And based on the weight that you're adjusting for, that's what you're going to pump the air pressure to on that airbag. So even with that, the bike is still sprung nicely. Whatever the spring rate is, and like I said, this is not built, or the preload is not set up for me. But the spring rate itself, you know, going over some of these bumps, you know, it kind of gives you like a little floaty feeling, like a little Cadillac feeling. So it's not rough, it's not hard on my back, and it feels good. I think the front end feels, well, the front end is absolutely a little stiffer than the rear end, but it doesn't feel. It's not like horrible. It still feels pretty good. So, you know, with some adjusting and some tweaking, I think it could be dialed in quite easily. You guys know how I feel about Indian motorcycle and the way they ride. They're just some really smooth bikes, really smooth. Indian motorcycle did their homework when it came to setting these motorcycles up through the suspension. And I know I don't have any demo audio for you guys, but I'm here to tell you this audio setup. So this is a 600 watt system. So you got 6 speakers, you got 600 watts. That's how they're doing it now. Before, the speakers were 50 watts. So they doubled the output, as well as adding a little bit more bass. So when you're out around town and you're like stopped somewhere, or you know, maybe you're just parking lot pimping, you're gonna hear a little bit of that punch in the audio because of the little bass, the bass upgrade. So and another thing that I forgot to mention, so with the backlit controls and then the new power band audio that has the backlit tweeters, you get a really nice effect at night because you know you have your lighted controls and then the speakers are lit up. It looks really cool, especially if you have somebody behind you. They're gonna see that, and there's, you know, it's an eye catcher. So not only are you looking good during the day, you're also looking good during the night. Man, just nicely done. However, I would say that I would have liked to had a backrest with this. I mean, now we get the armrest for the tour pack. You know, isn't it just like motorcycle people, right? You give us a little bit, we're always going to ask for a little bit more. I tell you what, I really do enjoy riding these bikes. The Roadmaster, Chieftain, they're just fun. The 116 engine is fun. It really is. It's you know, it's not big and boisterous like some of the like the 108 on the Challenger and the Pursuit, but in this platform, it is really fun. and you're not gonna have any issues with lack of power. All right. And cruising along here, we're at 45 miles an hour. We can go up to 50. Let's see. Get up to 50. Now, as you're accelerating, there is a bit of vibration. After you're done accelerating and you're cruising, you're just going along, that vibration goes away, everything kind of mellows out, and the bike just feels like it's ready to go. I mean, like you're ready to go cross country. It's just a good feeling. It's a good feeling bike. Like I said, very, very nimble. It's just easy to control. Everything about this is just easy. We're gonna get back to the rider experience, and then we're gonna wrap this video up. All right, so that was the ride and review of the 2024 Indian motorcycle Roadmaster Elite number 6 of 350, and that's 350 globally. So if you're here for Daytona Bike Week, definitely come out to the Indian motorcycle riding experience and take a look at this motorcycle. It is just a beautiful, beautiful bike, especially if you're in the ecosystem for the Roadmaster. You are not gonna be disappointed with this, all right? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this motorcycle. Put it in the comments down below. And as always, ride every day. And most importantly, make sure you're enjoying it. Peace.